Good morning, everybody. As we turn the music off, good morning, everybody. This is Dave Finale, and this is Real Estate Talk TGIF. And this is episode 346, 342 weeks in a row. Today I had a session of talking about plan and prep for your business, and I talked about building your business through a streak. I believe in streaks. Streaks have been the really motivating factor to how I do things and how I get things done. And as I said, this is 342 weeks in a row. Even if Brian didn't show up today, I would be doing a broadcast. Nothing gets in my way to get this done. I do shit no matter what. And that is one of the things that I want to give out to people today on such an important day, because every day is an important day in your business. So start a streak today. If you need to make phone calls, take today, day one, and just move it forward. And you don't have to count weekends. That's the fun part. Anyway, we've got Brian Spicciatie here. Did I say it right?
Very good. Very good.
All right, man. So if anybody, your goal should be to try to pronounce his name throughout the next 40 minutes or so and get it right. But we're going to talk about marketing. Brian is the author of this book called You're Not Bond. Stop fucking acting like a secret real estate agent. So true, man. I talk about this all the time. But before we get started, hit the video, Nelson.
Real estate agents want to acquire clients consistently to grow their business and income for that great lifestyle. This broadcast brings you the best people in the industry to support that quest. This is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and Align, your premier real estate solution.
Hey, everybody, we are back. This is, again, my name is Dave Finale. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF, number 346. And this broadcast is brought to you by my coaching company, Real Estate Skill Builder, and your premier real estate solutions, Align, which is a great organization that I get to work for and be their growth manager. And what I like to do is I like to give back to my community. And by doing that, I bring on great people every Friday to discuss the business of real estate, the business of investing, the business of mindset, all different kinds of things. And there are times when I've known people for years and times when I haven't known people for years, such as the case with Brian today. And Brian and I just somehow, some way found you on social, reached out to you and said, yep, sure, I'd love to do it. And in the time, probably over a couple of weeks, learned a lot about you and how much that we are so much in concert with marketing and how I try to teach people, because I believe that you've got to take every approach to everything you're doing and you just can't do one thing, right? So, Brian, before we get started, I have one question to ask you, which is the question I ask everybody on my broadcast. What does TGIF stand for?
To me, I go, thank God it's Friday. That's what it's known for with me. But I don't know. You have a different meaning?
It's the only meeting that really counts for this broadcast is thank God it's finale. And that's why we're here. It's my broadcast, so I can do whatever I want with it. That was not the intent from the very beginning, from 342 weeks ago. But you know what? It just happened. But anyway, here we are. We're here to talk about a lot of different things. And I want to introduce you properly, if I can find it here. And here it is. You know, Brian, you're the president of Realty Forte. Division of Hospitality Marketing. Brian's a leading real estate marketing expert, agency owner, executive consultant with proven track record of over $4 billion in real estate sales since 2018, generating $100+ million in commissions for clients. That says an awful lot. And his book, You're Not Bond, Stop Freaking Acting Like a Secret Real Estate Agent, is so apropos of a lot of people in this business. Why? Because people don't understand that, for me, people won't want to talk to you until they research you. And if they can't find you, they're not talking to you again. Exactly. If they can't prove who you are, they're not talking to you again. Now, for me, first place they're going is social, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. To me, it might be interchangeable. I don't know. And then they're going to Google. Because Google, right? Yeah. Anyway, Brian, thanks so much for being here. As we get into this topic, I want you to tell people where you started, where you came from, how you got to write this book, how you got to where you are today. What's your journey like, man? What was it like?
Yeah, so it goes back far. But first, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
And I'm excited to be on this podcast and looking forward to it. It goes back far for me. You know, I started out in the financial industry, working for companies like Prudential, Wachovia, Deutsche Bank, Financial Times. When I was at Financial Times, that was my first little taste of the real estate game. I actually used to be a bond evaluator for mortgage-backed securities. So I got to really understand what happened after a mortgage was sold. Somebody purchased a home. I helped with the process of valuing once they got the mortgages become securitized.
Right.
Right. So got out of that side of the business, went into more of the concierge business, and then I really got back to a love that I had, and what I studied in college was marketing. And from there, I just said, you know what? I just got to go into this. I opened up a shop, hospitality marketing. Our product was a discount dining card that would do marketing and promotions for restaurants, bars, and clubs. Did that for many years. Had a little magazine as well that would be mailed out to about 5,000 people every month. Got out of that and really started focusing on the marketing side of the business. And then it transitioned. We had a heavy focus in the hospitality industry, hence the name. Then about 2017, 2018, I just shifted focus, went straight to real estate. We really dived in because we saw a tremendous need in the market.
So what was it? So you dove right into real estate, but why real estate? Why not, I don't know, technology? Why not, gas stations? Why not regular retail?
So I did invest in some spec properties out in Florida.
Okay.
I might have told you this before. We actually invested in Florida, got some bad information from a not so good agent, even worse information from a bad mortgage broker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I decided, you know what? I'm never going to let that happen to me again. Started educating myself on that. Really started enjoying the market, especially when me and my wife got married. I was like, you know what? I really need to divulge myself into this. This is going to be our next big purchase. So let's really start learning more and more and more about the industry.
Okay.
But I have a love for it, love architecture, real estate,
Right.
Just all different things. So I got into it, had some friends that were real estate agents that actually needed help with marketing. We helped them along the way. And then I started looking at it and looking like there was such a need for help. People thought like marketing a property was getting a listing and throwing it on the MLS and waiting for syndication.
Well, the old 3 P's of marketing is for a real estate agent, right?
Well,
put it on the MLS, put up a sign, and pray.
Yeah, so that's I'm like, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing the client a disservice.
Sure, absolutely.
When you don't run any type of targeted campaigns, nothing like that. You really want to focus on getting that client the best possible results. You want to get them top dollar, least amount of stress, shortest period of time, right? But how are you doing that if you're only throwing it on the MLS and waiting for syndication and somebody find it on Zillow?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing these days. I mean, everybody talks about their special purpose, their special process. And what we find is that their special process is just that, oh yeah, I stay in touch with you, or I do this, or I do that. Mm-hmm. I believe you've got to show people what you're doing and show your value. Now, the big thing over the last year, Brian, has been you have to show value.
Yeah.
How do you show value? It's by showing people what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
And when I say show, it doesn't mean tell.
Mm-hmm.
2 completely different things. Go ahead.
Show with case studies, right? Actually come to a listing meeting with almost showing them an SOP, a standard operating procedure. This is what I do every single home.
100%.
This is the value that we can bring. This is how we are going to get 10%, 12%, 13% above the list price. Have a good pricing strategy, stuff like that. It's just, it's vital. There are still agents out there taking pictures with their cell phone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So what we know, and our experience has taught us is that you need to be more of, look, there's a salesperson and there's a marketer. I think it's better to be a marketer than it is to be a salesperson.
Yep.
The problem with our business, Brian, in my opinion, is that once someone gets their license because it says salesperson on it, they change who they are and what they do. And they think that they can copy their neighbor, I mean the agent next to them that's being successful, by copying what they're putting on social. Maybe they got a postcard, maybe they got this, maybe they got that. What they're not looking at is the work that they're doing to be successful, is the hard work of the research, the hard work of building the content, what the content actually means, etc. So you know what, man? I mean, we can talk about building everything, but I just want to add one thing to that. There's a book out there called Known, right? And that book it's a great book. If you can find it, you should buy it. You should read it. It talks about getting known and what you need to get known. And we all need to get known in order for us to build a great business. Now, if you're looking to do a few deals a year, this broadcast today is probably not for you. But if you're looking to build and scale along with what you're already doing, one of my favorite pet peeves is you need to schedule to do it. So now that I've gotten that off my chest, talk to me about how you believe, in a basic sort of way, and then we'll get intricate. How does an agent get known, and how do they get, how do they stop being a secret agent? I mean, how do they win more listings? How do they dominate their market?
So I just want to take it one step back, and like what you were speaking about before was spot on. And also I want to say, as an agent, the cold hard truth about real estate is you are not losing deals to agents who are smarter than you or better than you. You're losing deals to agents who are better marketers than you.
That's right.
Okay. Because those agents are being found. They're providing the value, right? Because you got to understand there's a bunch of people are sitting on the sidelines right now because, one, interest rates are too high. Two, there's absolutely the amount of inventory is so low right now. So these people are just more and more stacking cash, waiting to purchase a home. So these are the tire kickers. They really want to find possibly the best possible agent to work with them. Same thing on the seller side, where they want to actually learn more about the agents out there, who's going to be a good fit for me, personality wise too. And that's coming across in your social media. When you're making videos about people, they want to see authenticity. If you're not authentic and you're fake, and they're going to see through it. Just be yourself. Come provide the value. Focus on who you actually want to work with. I think me and you had this discussion the other day about first steps of setting a social media strategy. You need to figure out who's your client. Who do you want to work with? Right. So you go and you ask yourself, determine who your target audience is. Right. Then the next step, is it going to be, I want to work with only list sellers. I want to work with first-time home buyers, investors, 55 and over. Once you figure out that target, now start gearing all your content towards that. Why do people engage with businesses? Why do they engage with so many brands? Because they're providing a value to them, right? So think about that from that standpoint. Then you want to find out where they are. So then focus on those channels where those people are. Go brand yourself. That means have an updated headshot. Don't be showing up with something from 15 years ago. Start using video, and they don't have to be long forms. If you do create a long form video, that's awesome. Hand it over to a VA and have them chop it up for you. And you could use multiple pieces for short form.
Yeah, and you can also use different AI things for that, like Opus. You can use to cut up your long form video. When you talk about short form video, what are you talking about?
So minute clips, 30 seconds to a minute, coming up with short form. Just do tips. So you can use YouTube Shorts is great. Reels. What's the other one?
The YouTube Shorts, there's a lot of other things you can do, but we're basically talking about 30 to 60-second videos, right? And I think the thing that's important more on Instagram is I mean, okay, so let's just talk about the content, right? The content, 60 seconds to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And, for me, over the years, I've transformed into being a complete and total off the cuff out of my head to doing like 90% that way. Now I do about 50% scripted and 50% off the top of my head. And if I challenge anybody to give me a topic, I don't care what the topic is, it's not real estate, I will make a 60-second video based on that topic. Because I've just been doing it for so long, I know what the topic should be. I know how to make. I mean, if you said, Dave, here's the topic, ice cream, I could do a 60-second video on ice cream and relate it to real estate. It's just a matter of knowing your business and knowing what works, right? And the important part of every piece of content is asking it. So if you had to break down what a video content should be, there's different pieces it should be in. I mean, you're introducing yourself right away. What are you doing with your video? What should be the pieces of that video?
I think it really depends on what you're looking to accomplish, right? I don't think there's one specific structure. I think it's going to be based on the type of content that you're going to push forward. Right. If you want to capture the attention, build the trust, right? So when it's the hook that you want to throw out there first,
right? Right.
Then hit the problem. Here's the solution. There's the result.
Okay. Understand is the hook. Go ahead. The hook, the problem, the solution, then the result of what you can do for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what's the outcome? What's the outcome with the solution?
So let me ask you a question. Is it? I know the next thing you were going to say, and I hate to read your mind, but I just did. Talking about the next thing is the CTA, the call to action.
Yeah.
Do we need a call to action on every piece that we do?
No. And the reason being is because I'm a component of you need to follow that 80-20 rule.
Cool.
80% value, 20% sell. And at the end of every sell, there definitely should be a CTA.
Awesome. So there's so many steps you can take. And I want to really get into, and I'm going to show your book. I really want to get into this because there's a lot of great things in this book, and this is available on Amazon, guys. And if you want to know how to break it down to the nitty gritty and then to really excel, this is the book to get. There's one thing in here that, I mean, as silly as it may sound to people, you talked about nap, right? And it is the thing that I tell people all the time. And they look at me like I got six heads. Talk about the importance of NAP.
Oh, my God. So NAP, what is it, right? Name, address, phone number.
That's it.
It is so important. And why is it important? Because it's crucial to local SEO. It improves the user experience.
Right.
And it will help you generate more leads, right? So, like, the first, as a real estate agent, your main focuses of NAP should be making sure everything is identical across the major platforms. So your Google business profile, your Facebook account, your Instagram account, your LinkedIn account, Zillow, homes.com, Realtor. Focus on getting that identical. Make sure there's consistency, your name, your address, your phone number, even your branding. You don't know how many times I've gone in and had to enhance agents' brandings where, one profile shows white card, another was Coldwell Banker.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
But you have to understand something too. When people nowadays, 90% of home purchasers and people that are looking to do any type of real estate transaction start out online. Now, if they come across your profile, they're going to research you. And if you cannot market yourself, why will they trust you to market their largest asset or sell their greatest asset?
Yeah, and I want everybody. I'm going to give you a simple way to figure out to make sure you're consistent across all channels, and that's Google yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's not a sexual thing. That's Google yourself. You need to do that because it was funny because a couple of years ago I had a a friend of mine saying, Dave, I mean, have you Googled yourself lately? I said, yeah. He says, well, you need to go to the second page and look at this. It's got a picture from like 2008.
Yeah.
Said, oh shit. Okay. Right. So I had to change stuff or eliminate stuff. Right. We got a question from John Canvin. John's an old friend of mine. Hey man, how are you? Which do you prefer given your experience? Why have you chosen to script more? That's a question for me. John, I'm going to hit that in a second. But you know, the important thing is to be consistent across all channels. And I want to answer John's question. Why have I chosen to script more? Because I know that I can be more fluid. And I also know that I can have a more concentrated point on what my topic is going to be. So if my topic is going to be, I don't know, cold calling or calling for sale by owners or calling others, the important part for me, if that's my topic, I want to do exactly what Brian just said. Hook the problem, how I'm going to fix it, why you should listen to me, how I'm going to fix it. And I need to do that in my script. So it's more of a value post than anything else. And what I like to do is I want to make sure that the form is that way. And it also allows me to be a lot calmer in my video because I can be blunt. I can sound arrogant. So I want to be more forceful, but I also want to be also a little comedic in it. So actually, when I write it, I do that. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to put what you wrote in ChatGPT to have it say, hey, rewrite this so that I sound like this, right? I write all my own stuff. I do not use ChatGPT to write stuff for me. I have it to make sure that it sounds right and I didn't screw up. Yeah. So that's the answer. I hope that answers your question, John. Go ahead, Brian. Let's talk
John,
about the importance of that.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. And John, yes, the scripting is important because especially like somebody like Dave, myself, we have a lot of things going on up here. You know, we have a lot of knowledge that we can share. So sometimes we might go off on a tangent if we're not have something set in place. Like, yeah, it's just like a game plan, right? It's just making sure it's mapped out. Even if it's just a bullet that you can go and speak like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. These are the 4 topics. You know? Right. So you are able to deliver the most amount of value in the shortest period of time to somebody.
Yeah. And if I may, I want to add one thing when it comes to video. If you're going to continually do content on a regular basis, you need to have a content plan. You need to plan it all out. This book is going to help you make sure that you know where everything's going, how it should be set up. Your plan can be so many different kinds of content, but what I do know is that if you continue to do something, you need to be consistent, not only in your content, but consistent in the type of content. So go ahead. So I want to talk more about importances that are in the book, like such as your Google profile and that kind of thing. Talk to me about what someone should be doing as they either get started or want to reinvent themselves. So I want you to give me that process.
Yeah. So to me, right now, I'm big part of foundational marketing first. You know, I think I might have told you this. Like it's you make that reference to almost like a house. You're not going to sell a house to one of your clients that has a poor foundation, right? You want to make sure you have a good, strong, solid foundation. And you need to have that in business. So that means Google business profile. This is where people do active searches. I think it's something like 8.5 billion searches are done a day on Google. So if you don't have a Google business profile, you know, you're losing business. People, buyers, sellers cannot find you. You know, do you think that you're going to be found from your website that you have as MikeSellsNewJersey.com? You know, that's not the case. To win at local, you need to be hyper local, right? Because your website is not going to rank compared to the Zillows, the Realtors, the Homes, the Redfins. They're going to outrank you for website. So how do you win that? You got to make sure that you focus on the local game by making sure that you have a solid, optimized Google business profile. Okay. With that, you're posting to it, you're managing it, you're collecting reviews there. Get your reviews off Zillow, get them over to Google business profile, hands down.
Yeah. So reviews are very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
for most real estate agents. I want to tell you that, there's marketing, and then there's marketing. There's the personal touch that you put into everything you do, and responding to questions and stuff. Talk to me about social media. And we talked about Google Business Profile, and that's in the book, by the way, guys. You can get the book, and it's all in there on how to do it and what's important about it. But I want to talk about a little bit about social media here. I want to switch gears a little bit, if that's okay with you, Brian, and talk about social media and engaging on social media.
Yeah. So depending on how you're engaged by your audience, but you should never let a comment or question go unanswered, right? So like I was saying before, the strategies in the book, we actually at the back, we give you a way to build out your social media strategy,
right,
for free. That's in there. So, like I said, you need to determine your target audience, and you have to find out where they are and start branding yourself completely. Remember, content is king, right? So the type of content that you're pushing out should be geared towards your audience, and make sure you're looking at the insights and engagement of your content. If people aren't answering or engaging with it, liking it, sharing it, switch it up. Look at the insights see when your audience is online. So when you could set posts to go off at those times where you have the highest amount of audience, right? And then you go in when you're creating your content. Like I said, make sure you follow that 80-20 rule. By 80% value, right? 20% sell. As people start to engage with you, see more and more of that, they're gonna know. You don't have to ask or make that ridiculous post. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell, reach out to me.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
I don't want to see. Hey, call me. Yeah. And if you're gonna put out listing posts, that's okay. But if it's only like 3% of what you do, I want to go back to something that's really important that would help anybody in any business, and that's knowing who your target market is. It's really simple. Your perfect client avatar. And one of the things about that we talked about a little bit, I would like you to expand on, is you need to know. So when I talk to real estate agents, I ask these questions. This is what you want to know about your client. What kind of car do they drive? Where do they live? Where do they shop? What kind of food do they like? What restaurants do they go to? So on and so forth, right? I go through all that stuff. Now, it's impossible for you to know all that stuff. But one of the things I want everybody to realize, that in real estate, the person that you want to work with looks back at you in the mirror every day. You want to work with people like yourself, right? That's a great place to start. But understand, you're not going to work with those people all the time. You're going to have like, that might be 30 to 40% of your business. But as time goes on, when you build from them, it will be 60 to 70 to 80% of your business. Talk to me more about the fine tuning of an avatar.
Okay, yeah. So, you start asking yourself, like you were saying, the defining questions to build.
Right.
What's the age range of people that you want to deal with? What's the income level that you want to deal with? You want to obtain as much information about that client or customer. And one thing too is ask yourself, who do I like working with? Not just like, oh,
that's right.
Like, maybe some people are not really fit to handle, say, first-time home buyers. They don't want to deal with the hundreds and hundreds of questions and all the guidance that you have to provide and keep and educate them, because they don't know the process. So they're going to have to go through this all with you. You're going to be their Sherpa, taking them up the hill.
That's right.
And there's going to be so much involved in that, opposed from somebody who's downsizing or somebody who, looking to buy a bigger home, small home, whatever it may be. Really figure out who you want to work with, define their characteristics, like I said, really know who they are. That's the best way. And I do this every day in my business because I wind up getting calls coming in from people, people that want to work with us, but as we go through the process of like, qualifying them, like, we're not going to be a good fit, especially with my personality. If somebody's overly aggressive as a potential client, I'm not going to work with you. You're done. Out.
Why is that, Brian? Is that just not your personality?
Yes. And one, like, I've been doing this for a long time. I have the game plan to bring people to success. So if you're going to be somebody that's standoffish, mean, disrespectful, and it happens daily, I'm not going to work with you. I don't need to.
That's like the agent that comes to you for help or comes to me for help, and you say, do this, 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 and this. This is your process. Here's step 1 to 10. And they turn around and look at you and go, no, that's not going to work. Yeah. I tell you what, it's changed my life not doing that any longer. Yeah. So I want to talk about a marketing strategy for anyone or real estate agents from soup to nuts. If you could start out, where do they need to be? Where do they need to go? And what do they need to maintain? Talk to me about a marketing strategy for a real estate agent.
Oh, yeah. First, so omni-channel, multifaceted, right? So depending on your budget, this is how we're gonna go. First, we're gonna go organically. We're gonna make sure all of our profiles are all built. Like I said, your Google business profile, your Facebook business page, your Instagram page, even LinkedIn as well. Get all those social platforms up. Make sure you have your Zillow, Realtor, Homes. Those are all built, all NAP, consistently posting and marketing on it, right? Then, like I said, we have to create that social strategy. Make sure we're incorporating video, a lot of video into it, because video does provides, I think it's like 1,200% more engagement than text and images.
Yep.
So make sure you're doing that. This is a way that you're gonna get to be known. I do suggest creating a YouTube channel as well, because it's the second largest search engine in the world. People don't realize that. People now are just searching on YouTube, and when you start posting YouTube shorts, your viewage and your increase to your SEO is gonna really rise. Okay, so those are right now. That's like your first, what you're starting out with. Really come up and start working on those channels. You have to maintain consistency, like you know that just in what you do every day.
Right, consistency. Start a streak. Right.
Yeah. Consistency is key. Even if you feel it's not working, keep doing it. Keep going. Just do it. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. And then you want to start breaking out into maybe more of a lead generation situation. Let me take a step back.
Sure.
Website. This is a question I get asked all the time. Do you need an IDX website? No. So when you're getting started, if you're not joining one of the bigger franchises where they're giving you a website and has IDX and everything on it, maybe going to a boutique shop or something, and you don't need an IDX website, because like I said before, nobody's searching Mike Sells Minneapolis for homes. They're not going there. They're going to people that are looking for homes are going here. What you need to have is a good structured landing page, converting page, or a funnel.
There you go. Really important. Really important.
So it's because you want to drive traffic to these specific pages. So if you're talking about maybe pushing out information about for sellers, and you want to offer them a free seller's guide, send them to the seller guide funnel that you have. Let them fill out the form, and automation kicks in and sends it to them right off the bat. Then as the automation goes further on, it starts to follow up with them. You can call them, ask them any questions, build up, maybe set up a seller consult from that point on.
Explain. So I want everybody to understand that what Brian's talking about is really top of funnel stuff. We talk about funnels all the time. And as he uses the word automation, the idea is to bring them down the funnel. Talk to me about that, what the automation means and how that's all set up. Not how it's set up technically, but what the idea and the notion of it is.
Yeah, so basically just the idea is you get them into your ecosystem at top of funnel, right? So then once they come in, you can add, I like to do multi-ways where you're calling, texting, and emailing, right? So you have specific drip sequences set up per campaign, right? So it's like, hey, first one would be, thank you very much for requesting that seller's guide. I hope you got a chance to read it. If you did you have any questions I can answer for you? You know, that's a touch point. Wait 2 days, hit them with another touch point, hit them with another one. Then maybe, hey, would you like to jump on a quick call? Here's a link to my calendar. You know, so you're hitting them with multiple different touch points, staying relevant, but you should also be following up with phone calls to these people once they come into your ecosystem. But
awesome.
So this is the whole thing about, you know, one of the things we also talk about is when we do email marketing, everybody who's on your social channels, your followers, make sure you try and bring them in-house, where it's like, get their email addresses from them.
How do you do that, Brian?
So there's ways that you can do. You can do hand-raised posts, special offers. Hey, if any of you are interested, I'd love to provide you at no cost a free net sell sheet. You know, when all you have to do is fill out this form. You start doing something like that. You invite them to events. You know, we're hosting a home buyers seminar, a sellers seminar, even like mortgage things. You have a mortgage guy coming on. I mean, people right now, I mean, bought with the height of the interest rate, tailed down a little bit. Just all different ways to actually bring them into the ecosystem, get them off social, but get their email address. Because just think of it this way, you see what's going on with TikTok, right? That they might get shut down, right? What happens if somebody hijacks your Facebook page? Somebody, steals it. Instagram goes down. Whatever happens, you could have built a big audience on these social channels, but guess what? You don't own that. The social platforms own that. Okay, you might think you do, but you don't. So you want to try and grab that information. You know, get people to provide you with their email address, their names, their phone numbers.
Yeah, and I want to tell you the best way to do that, folks, is to ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's really simple. Do you suggest professional type videos out of the gate, or just get there and polish later? Yep. Great question, John. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, no, you don't need professional. You do not. Just get to making the content. Just get comfortable. You know, just start.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is starting it, because, you know, when it comes to real estate and other things, depending on your competition, what your competition looks like, your video, your crappy video is going to be better than your competition's non-video. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that if your video is not perfect, it shows some of your character of being willing to show imperfections. If you think you're perfect and you need to show that you're perfect, just remember something. Good is much better than perfect.
Yeah.
You go much further with being good enough than being perfect. So, and a lot of times the perfectionism in us will hold you back. Yep. Like, you know, like I say, perfect is the enemy of good. And like I said, there's a business disease that a lot of real estate agents, for the most part, have. It's called getting ready to get ready, and analysis of the paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Right? So it's one thing you don't want to get into, but you know, I would go for you know, just the most important thing is to know what your topic is, know what the point you want to get across. And it could be just an off-the-cuff quick video. Like, for instance, I used to do a lot of walking videos, and it would be after I ran in the morning. Those are still all over social media, because we've been able to take, you know, 5 years of those videos and repurpose them. And that's the great thing about some of the videos. I mean, if you're doing, no matter what you're doing, a lot of it is repurposeful. And I always tried not to use time as a thing. And if I did, I would like say, do I really want to say it's Christmas time? Do I really want to say it's the summer? Well, you know what? If I'm outside and it's snowing, you know it ain't the summer. So, there's a lot of ways to look at that. So, what else, Brian? What else you got?
Just what was the exact topic that we were talking about? Oh, was it the high converting landing pages, right?
For the professional videos, etc. That was the question we were just handling.
Okay, yeah. So honestly, I have a marketing agency. I do not do high professional videos. I do not. They're done from my phone, from my desktop. I have a stand right there too. It doesn't need to be done. It really don't.
Right. I want to tell everybody too, but when talk about that, I've had the fancy lights, the fancy cameras. I've got a DSLR camera. This broadcast is done through StreamYard. I use my laptop as my camera, my FaceTime camera. I do have 2 lights on my desk. I have an elevated desk. All my other video over the last couple of years have been done with my video studio right here in my hand. Okay, this is my video studio. Now, I will tell you that I have worked with better microphones because sound is very, very important. So that's something you might want to get. A wired lavalier would be really good. You're never going to go wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But anything you need, like for instance, what you're seeing with me is I have a step and repeat. If you're going to use lights against a step and repeat, make sure it's cloth and not vinyl because there will be a glow to it. But really, you really don't need a lot of equipment. The only thing that I'm honestly adding, I'm going to be changing up how I do things. I'm going to have a huge monitor on the wall and a big a camera that is able to zoom in and zoom out, simply because I want to be not behind a desk anymore when I'm doing these broadcasts and other broadcasts. I'm a walker. I like to walk around. So depending on what you like to do and how you want to do it. And when I put my hands on the desk, you can see my video shake, Yeah. So, and that's a big problem that I've always had whenever I do it. But that's the extent of equipment.
Right. Those vibe boards you might like. Yeah.
I have friends that have treadmill desks as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a good friend of mine up in Sussex County that has one. I want everybody to understand that Brian has been through and seen all the stuff in the trenches. Okay. We talked, it seemed like a lot of basic stuff today, but it's the most important stuff. People say, well, what do I need to worry about my name, address, and phone number? Mm-hmm. Because if people can't freaking call you, they won't call you. And if look, they're not going to go out of their way to find your phone number. They're not going to truepeoplesearch.com like I will to find a phone number. They're going to go on to the next person. Yeah. So I'm going to tell everybody, get this book. I'm going to put it up on the screen again. Get this book. It's on Amazon, and you can get it in a day. But my suggestion to you is get that book as soon as you possibly can. Brian, whatever kind of things that people should be looking at?
Yeah. So once you have your landing pages fine-tuned, right, then you could start going into the paid lead gen aspect.
Right.
Okay. So the ones that we really suggest right now, which are the best quality, best converting, one, LSA, okay, which is local service ads, getting qualified for that. That was by far one of the best lead generation programs we brought to our clients. They were getting us about 10x ROI for 90% of our clients. So it's a great tool to be used for real estate. Basically it helps you show up at the top of search. It's only a pay-per lead program, right? So you get Google screened. So the difference between a LSA and a PPC, which pay-per-click, you're not paying for placement, right? So you get to the top. If you ever break down a SERP, which is a search engine result page, so SERP at the top, you're going to see 2 local service ads. Then you're going to go into the sponsored ads, which are your paid search PPC. Then underneath there, you're going to see your local map pack. That is the Google business profile. Okay. And then underneath, you're going to see organic websites listed, and then 2 more PPC or paid search listings there. Once you get to that top at LSA, people will click on that ad. You don't pay for that click, you're only paying for either a call or a message lead that comes in. Okay. And these people have to be willing to do a real estate transaction to be considered a lead. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, it's all there for you. We're running up against time. Is there anything else? I mean, look, here's the thing, man. You guys need to look at this book in order for you to be able to see what the process is and what you need to have. And it tells you what to do. That's how simple it is. You don't even need to, I hate to say this, Brian, but they don't even need to hire you.
No. If you're willing to do this and learn this all on your own, it's right there. It's in the book. The map.
Right.
That book is actually a roadmap.
It really is. I've gone through the book. Brian was so kind as to send me a copy. It really is a roadmap. And it talks about all the things that you should be doing on a regular basis. Every agent should be doing. We've had, there are a lot of experts in the real estate field on marketing and social media. We've had them on the broadcast. And, just so everybody knows, next week, just a promo next week, we have the one and only Krista Mayshore coming on. She is the queen of video marketing. She's going to be on and talking about that. Krista is one of the top coaches in the real estate industry in the country. And we are so pleased to have her on. And she's a friend of the broadcast. This is her third time she's showing on this broadcast. Don't even have to worry about it. I just have to ask her. She says, when do you want me? And she comes on. She is amazing. She is a member of multiple 2 Comma clubs. If you know what that is, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's what she'll talk about that next week. Brian, I want to thank you so much for being on. I've got 2 other things for you. First thing is a question is set. Next thing is a comment. First thing is, how do I help you grow your business?
Have me on again. I'd love to do this. One, I did want to come on. I wanted to get that hat.
Oh, this?
Yes, I want the blue hat.
There it is. There it is. See, here's the real reason people come on. They want to get the hat. They want to have the hat, the Ari Skill Builder hat, right? So, Brian, this one's coming out to you. We're going to get this out. And don't forget, next week we have Krista Mayshore. We've got a lot of great people lined up over the next couple of months to come on the broadcast. And then, we're heading toward year number 7. We're in 6.5 years now. June will be 7 years. We're excited about that. Everybody, I want to thank you all for being on, Brian. And we are going to be back next week with another great show with Krista Mayshore. Brian, just stay on for a minute as we go out. And Nelson, hit the video.